Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. What if I told you the only thing standing between you and your next big opportunity is your voice? This isn't just another program. Empower Your Message is your ticket to becoming the podcast guest everyone wants. You'll learn how to craft a pitch that gets a hell yes, show up with unshakable confidence, and drop truth bombs that leave hosts and audiences wanting more. No more playing small. No more waiting for permission. It's your time to be heard. Loud, clear, and unforgettable. Visit the link in the show notes to sign up, and let's make your voice impossible to ignore. The mic is waiting. Are you ready? Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Valerie Lyons. She is a career healer, an intuitive career empowerment coach, a speaker, an author, mental health counselor, and rehabilitation counselor. Welcome, Valerie. I am so excited to have you here today. We were just talking before we jumped on about how we had been trying to get this done for a while now, but timing had prohibited that. But we are here today because of divine timing. So that just means that the conversation is going to be that much more beautiful, that much more inspirational, and that much more powerful. So welcome. How are you today?
I'm blessed and I'm grateful. And that's how I start my introduction about who I am. And I really am. I'm blessed and grateful to be here with you, Brad. I'm so excited about this conversation. As I said earlier, we are aligned.
Yes.
And that's what I am creating my life. Self-alignment.
That's it. I love it. I'm excited to have you here. I cannot wait to dive in. So with that being said, let us get started and jump right in. Now, that is one hell of a resume and a lot of hats. So before the titles, the books, and the speaking stages, who was the woman that first discovered she could heal and empower others?
I always say and tell people this. I'm a recovering shy person. So as a child, I was the one that my friends came to talk to share their concerns with. I was there to support and to advise as a child. I did not know my power as a child. I just knew that this is who I was and that I had this ability to listen and to support. So it really came to me that I had this ability, not skill and not power, ability to engage and to make people feel comfortable. I had the energy of trust was there, and people would tell me that I was easy to be with.
And it just carried forward. It's in your DNA. It's just who you are. And I love that. We need more of that in the world.
Yeah, we do. I say we do. Yes.
You specialize in helping individuals connect with their inner knowing to design careers that are aligned with their purpose, as we're talking about alignment today, mission and core values, both professional and personal. And your ultimate vision is for us to create a career that supports a joy-filled, creative, and impactful life. Why is this aspect of your work so personally important to you, and what inspires you most about it?
Oh, boy. So I got the memo late. I got the memo late, Brad.
But you got it. That's the main thing.
I have been for most of my life career driven. Now I'm joy. So this idea of looking outside yourself for what it is that you can do, listening to the messages around which careers are the best careers to explore. Looking to make the money, which I ain't got nothing. I have nothing about nothing to say about making money. We all make lots of money.
Yeah.
But when you're not being true and you don't know how to tap into what you want and how you want to live, what kind of lifestyle do you want to live? When we leave our life out of our decisions, our lifestyle, out of our decisions around work and are looking for the prestige, for the career, for the advancement, and all of that is wonderful. But what I found over the years, through my own experience of being career driven, we jeopardize so many aspects of our lives, our relationships, our fun, our joy. We fit the vacation into the 2 effing weeks or 1 week or 4 weeks.
You can swear, Valerie. It's okay.
Okay. I try I do what I do. But
Yeah.
we try to fit our lives into the limited amount of time we have to do what we do based on our benefit package. So the idea of this work, I started out as doing as a career coach. I was been in the workforce development field for over 30 years. And so it was always, and when I worked with people, it was always about, okay, LinkedIn page, resume, job search process, interview skills, which again is great.
Yep.
But what I do is do grounding exercises with people, breathing, feet planted on the ground, hands on heart, hands on tummy. Close your eyes. What is on your heart to share today? We start with that.
Yes. I love that.
And it is never the resume, LinkedIn page.
All the things.
I get chills. So I've been like really doing a lot of work, Brad. I work with Deborah Driscoll, who I know.
Yes.
And we do a lot of work around intuition and tapping into your intuition. And what Deb says and has helped me so much, allowing your intuition to be the leader and your mind ego the servant.
There you go. That's it right there. I want to just touch quickly on what you said about fitting in that 2 weeks of vacation. This has boggled my mind for the longest time, is that people always say, I want to travel, but I got to wait till I retire. I got to wait. Why the fuck do you have to wait till you retire? You don't know. You're not promised that. You don't know that you're going to be here. Do the traveling, do the shit you want to do now. Do the shit that's on your heart now.
God,
you have to, because nobody is promised tomorrow. Nobody.
See, when you get that, when you really get that we're not promised tomorrow, and when you get that those things, traveling, having fun, joy, spending time with your family, when you really get that's the priority, then that drives everything that you do.
There you go. Life.
My work is around creating a career that supports your life, not creating creating your big life first, and then a career that supports that. Life first.
I so wish that everybody on the planet could find what sets their soul on fire and do that. I really do, because I honestly believe that if more people could do that and leaned into that and took the time to do the work to figure that out, what an incredible planet we would be living on. How much joy would there be in the world if more people stepped into and embraced that? And I understand there's fear around all of it. And I've got this comfy job and I've got all these benefits. How can I leave that and give that up to take a chance on something? You only live once, people. You only get one shot.
And Brett, I also think, what is the impact of staying?
There you go. To your health, to your mental wellness, everything.
And my attitude is like, it can be a yes and. You have that job, right? And you're willing to explore what's possible.
Yeah.
So you don't have to give it up right away. One of the biggest risks I've taken with regard to work was when I left a high-paying job after being out of work for a while. I'd started my business, didn't know what I was doing, ran out of money, got a job through a colleague. It was a job as an administrator. Look, on paper, I'm an administrator, not so much in real life.
Right.
I found my soul was being drained on the job. I felt it. I got on my knees once in my office and said, Lord, please help me get out of here. Heard the voice that said, you know what, Val, you can leave. You know what I'm saying? But I'm old school. Yeah. You don't need a job unless you have a job. Right? And that's right. You're crazy if you leave a job without having a job.
Yeah.
But the voice said, Val, you really can't leave. When I chose to submit my resignation, the level of relief that I felt in my body. Matter of fact, when I was leaving, people were like saying to me, my colleagues, I want to leave with you. Listen, this was an organization that had been around since 1934. I left in 2013. One of the largest behavioral healthcare organizations in the company. 2 weeks after I left, the company went bankrupt.
Jeez.
The people who had been there, their pensions, vacation, everything was in bankruptcy court. That was such an important experience for me to know. Listen.
Yes.
Listen and follow. And also tap into how you're feeling. Are you twisted?
Yeah, like you said, your intuition, like Deb talks about intuition. Are you willing to sacrifice your soul to stay in something just because it's comfortable, just because it's easy? Hell no. You only get one shot at this life.
But it's recognizing that you're actually sacrificing your soul. Recognizing your body. You have headaches, you have stomach aches, you have fatigue. You don't want to get up on Sunday. You don't want to go to bed because you know you got to get up on Monday. No, recognizing that being miserable is your choice. You don't have to.
Yes, we always have a choice. I don't care what the situation. You always have a choice. There's always a choice. It's which way you're going to go. I love it. Looking back over your career, Val, what was the moment where you realized that this work that you're doing right now, this is my calling. This is the shit I was born to do?
I started to know that I had power in what I was doing because I knew that it was my calling. I always knew it was my calling. How about that? I always knew it was my calling. I didn't know it was power until fairly recently, until the last, I'll say 4 or 5 years. Because you could take stuff for granted. Just like people, I always make this crazy analogy, people who who are bilingual, multilingual. You speak different languages, whatever. You don't realize the gift it is because not everybody has that gift.
Yeah,
it's power. So I recognized my power maybe about 4 years ago, meaning that what I have to offer makes a real difference to people, that I'm changing lives. I didn't necessarily own that in the past. I have to tell you, one of my proudest moments, and I get chills, one of my proudest moments was being acknowledged as a distinguished alum in spring 2024 for the Hunter College School of Education during that ceremony. And when I got up to speak, before I even opened my mouth, the students got on their feet and applause. And people said that. It was like, Val, you didn't even say anything. But I realized, I know that I have that ability for people to acknowledge me. And I'm told that now when I hear people saying, Val, you're great. One of the students told me the day I was a celebrity. When I hear that, it doesn't go to my head. It just affirms my power. And I'm grateful. And I take that with great responsibility.
With great power comes great responsibility. Peter Parker, or Spider-Man. Val's climbing the sides of buildings.
Yes, that's right.
I love it. Oh, I love it, Val.
Yeah.
What would you say then is one of the biggest lies that society tells us about work?
One of the biggest lies is that somehow the type of work you do is a reflection of your worth. That your title, how much money you make, has you on some kind of hierarchy. So many of us, I should say some of us, not all. Some of us, because of our title.
Yeah.
We talk down to the housekeeper. We talk down to who the hell are we?
Yeah.
Who the hell are we? So this idea that with prestige, your title equals, the bigger your title is, the more prestige you have, and somehow you're elevated and you have a sense of entitlement to carry on and lose your mind and forget that we're all human beings. No matter what position you hold, you should be respected unless somebody tells you otherwise, but you give people respect as a human being on the planet, and you don't talk down to people or be intimidated by somebody because they have a title. I remember when I was working I started my career in substance abuse treatment, and I remember thinking that the president of the organization, Richard Pressman, his soul rest in peace, I remember thinking that he was standoffish. And I also was very intimidated by titles at that time. So I was shy, like I said, I didn't step to him. And then I realized, I always saw him with an entourage, but then I realized he was shy. He had we have all kinds of perceptions about people based on their title, their gender, their race, how much money they make, do they own a home or do they rent, do they drive, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But this feeds all of this this all feeds into how we see each other in the world of work.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. When it all comes down to it, at the end of our lives, those titles, all the possessions, all that shit doesn't mean a damn thing. Do you ever see a U-Haul being pulled behind a hearse? No, you can't take any of the shit with. Who cares? It's inconsequential. None of it matters. So what? You have a title. Good for you. That's great. But you're no better than me. And I'm no better than you. I'm no better than the person who cleans the offices. And that person that's the CEO is no better than me. It's just a title. When it comes down to it, we are all human beings. That's it.
That's it. And I also want to make it clear that I'm not saying that everyone who has a title feels this way, but I'll speak to how I related to it. I related to having a title and a corner office as I made it. I've arrived. I did not necessarily look at my full life, my marriage that was suffering, my finances that were all fucked up, my health. I did not look at my full life. So when, what I know this idea of success, what does success mean? I thought success was, I got my great education, I got the great job, I got the title, making the money, I'm married. Forget the fact that the marriage was suffering. But on surface. So now I know. It's my peace of mind.
That's the most important thing.
My peace of mind is if I'm self-aligned, and I do this because it's how when I'm self-aligned, I'm moving toward that. And that's also something very recent for me, like within the last 2 years, concentrating on what's in your life that you need to remove. And for me, it was the relationship that I was in for 5 years. I was married for 20 some odd years, separated, ended up in a relationship with somebody. Wasn't clear on what my values were at the time. That was another thing. But the bottom line, the spirit was telling me, he's not for you, Val. He's not for you. When I finally got the courage to say, you know what? And this is how we broke up ultimately. My words, spirit through spirit. My soul is twisted and my spirit is, I just said something about my spirit is disempowered. Something. And then he left. And that was it. He cursed me out afterwards, but okay. He did curse me out. I told him he was very creative. I've never heard those words before. But this idea of making sure that I am doing my best to keep whatever's in my life aligned with my values, purpose, passion.
Yeah, but that speaks to having you have to have the self-awareness to realize you're living out of alignment, first and foremost. Ooh-wee. And that's a tough one because you got to do the work to get to that point.
Yeah, but Fred, listen to this. And it is work. But this is a tip, whoever's watching. I'm just saying. What is your body telling you? See, I wasn't into embodiment work. And again, over the last 5 years, we don't listen to our body. Our bodies will tell us. You get a twinge in your tummy, you feel out of sorts. We know, we actually do know. We don't always pay attention or tune in. And that's the practice, tuning in and paying attention. What your body says matters. And I listen now more than ever to my body. And I get messages and guidance.
That's it. We have to learn to listen and have the self-awareness. That's the key. So in your opinion, then, what is the deeper cost, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically, as we're just talking about, of staying in a career that's out of alignment with your values and your passions?
You forget who you are. You actually forget who you are. You forget what's important to you. You forget that there's a life that you have that's bigger than your job. All of the things you forget. You're so consumed with the work, and you're consumed with how fucked up it is. And you can't even contribute fully to the work because you're disempowered. You have regrets, you have sadness, and you're daggone resigned. I think being resigned is probably the worst space that we can be in, to think that there's nothing else that we can do. And listen, about being resigned, you don't know you're resigned. That's a problem.
Not even realizing it. Not even knowing.
Not even realizing that you've settled for something that doesn't even work for you. But again, I would say, trust yourself. That's practice too.
Yeah, for sure it is.
Listen to what's happening internally. Pay attention to how you feel.
Yeah.
That you matter. How you feel matters.
100%. The body keeps the score.
Body keeps the daggone score.
Val, so many people, we've all done it, chase success as it's defined by others, by society. All these definitions of these achievements, accomplishments, all of these things are projected as success. How do you help your clients distinguish between the career that they think they should build versus the career their soul is begging them to create.
Oh, so let me share this with you.
We get into the juicy stuff.
Yes. There's these 3 pillars that I use as a framework that I'm in the process of exploring what to actually call them, because I'm laying these 3 pillars in everything that I do, including my life. I'm living these pillars, okay? Okay, so the first one is honoring your authentic self-worthiness. You are sacred. Your values count. What are they? Let's explore them. Really looking at who are you and what is it that you want. And again, through meditations, through contemplative practices, we get to the source. We get to the book, because it takes a minute. Okay, so honoring your authentic self-worthiness is where it starts. Then, once you honor your authentic self-worthiness and get in touch with who you really are and what you really want, creating your vision for success is what's next. What do you see for yourself and your life? What do you want to do personally, professionally? What does success mean to you? Let's get underneath all of the messages that we learned about what success means, and what family said, and what your teacher said, and all of that, right? And then it's developing the skills of visibility. Now, how do you go into the world and promote yourself, interact with people, do your networking? Because I'm a power networker. That was the book I wrote, Power Networking from the Inside Out, where your career and your well-being meet. So I don't play. I'm a power networker. So then it's developing the skills of visibility. So that's the framework that I use.
Love it,
Brad, with my clients. And I'm telling you, regardless of what you say you want to do, if you don't know who the hell you are, you can't get there.
That's right. It has to start with the first pillar.
It has to start with the first pillar. And then what you say you want to do may not be truly what you want.
Exactly.
But the script you've been listening to over the years tells you this. We get underneath the script.
Get underneath the hood, pull all that shit out, dig, excavate, and get right in there. That's it. Yes. That's the magic.
Oh, and I say, honoring your authentic self-worthiness is what had me finally say, I can't be with this person anymore. When I said to myself, Val, you're not honoring your authentic self-worthiness, I was like, damn.
That hurts.
I was like, Jesus. Because I said to myself, I am not going to be a hypocrite. I am not going to be a hypocrite and talk about this work from a place of hypocrisy. I'm not living this thing, and I'm talking to people.
Practice what you
that
preach.
Was it. And that was on my birthday, December 14th, 2024, was when Spirit finally, Spirit had always been telling me, it landed. And I said what I said to this person, and that was
Love it. Listen to your authentic self. Listen to your inner voice. Listen to your intuition, your inner guidance. It's there. We all have it. Every single person on this planet has it within. It's just been tamped down, pushed down within so deep for some people. There's going to take more work to excavate it, to bring it out, but it's there.
But the other thing, Brad, this is what I got also from my work at TED. Your intuition doesn't necessarily make any sense. See, we try to make logic this message, but where am I getting that shit? When I get a message, I'm like, done. And I'm saying to myself, I'm a work in progress. I don't question it. I tell you that. Whether I want to follow it is a whole other story. I certainly don't. I don't question it. I'm like, okay, I hear you.
Message received.
And then I'll shoot. Message received. Then I will choose.
Yeah. What does an empowered career look and feel like? And how do we know when we've truly found it, in your opinion?
Oh, an empowered career looks like I am being fully supported, acknowledged, and valued in my work, whether it's with my colleagues, my manager, those whom I serve, that I feel like that my values are aligned, my personal values are aligned with the work. I don't feel conflicted with the work. I feel like the work is part of my calling. You said it's a real calling. I feel driven to do this work, and I know that I'm a contribution. I know that I'm making a contribution. There's just a feeling of connectedness and minimal to no stress. Minimal to no stress. I think it's possible.
Absolutely. It's a fuck yes in your belly. Someone once told me, when you've got a decision to make, like whether it's a job, do you want to go to that party? Do you want to go meet that friend for coffee? Do you want to do this, that, or the other? If it's not a fuck yes, don't do it.
Yes. And that takes checking in. And that's what I do now. I now say when I'm invited someplace or opportunity, I will, because I have yes energy. Okay. So I have yes energy. What I've had to learn over the years is you can have yes energy and not say yes to everything. Okay. That was big. So now it was big. So now I say, Val, do you want to go to this party? I check in. Yeah. I'm like, no. And when I say no, whoo, I say, oh God, thank you. I say to myself, because I feel the relief. That's another thing. You can feel the relief when you say no. You can feel it when you say yes too. But for someone who has yes energy, when I say no, it's a relief because I know that I'm taking on too much. I'm overextending myself. And the relief is my body saying, thank you very much for checking in. And yes, you will stay your butt home and be happy about it. I don't have no fear of missing out.
No FOMO.
No fear of missing out because no FOMO because I realize the life I live, I'll always have some fun and joy. I'll always have it. If it's not this time, it'll be another time. So I had FOMO for many years, not anymore.
Love it. What do you think keeps women, especially, from pursuing careers that fully honor their purpose and their voices?
Can I talk about the paternalistic society that we live?
Yes. Yep, that's a part of it for sure.
Yeah. I was joking with a friend, and I remembered back in the 80s, I worked for an advertising agency. I used to say I worked as an administrative assistant, but I was a secretary. And I had a jerry curl, and I had my pearls, my pearl necklace, my pinstripe suit, which I still love pinstripe suit, and my attaché case. The 80s. It was all about looking more masculine. So unfortunately, we get the messages. We get the messages about what we can do, what we can't do. I remember working in an environment where I was waiting, I was a manager, worked with predominantly men, and was waiting for someone to invite me to the decision-making table. I learned later, you got to invite yourself, but we're not taught to do that. We're taught to wait until you're told to speak, follow this particular model of what management looks like, very sort of dictating, and I'm the authority and you do what I say. You know what I mean? So we get these messages and then we start to emulate them, and then we really get that they don't work. And we know our nature's different, or a way of approaching things is different. I remember when I first started in the field and people told me I was too soft.
Wow.
And I'm a crier. I'm a crier too. And I'll cry because I feel great. I'll cry because I feel touched. I'll cry because I'm sad. And I remember being around, again, working with a lot of men, and unfortunately, they didn't know how to handle that shit. All uncomfortable, and I would be like, I'm okay, because it was just the way so unfortunately, it's a bit challenging. And women, I always tell girls, and I tell people, I should say, women, and but young women and young girls, adopt a mentor. Because people may not step to you, but if you see somebody who you like their style, they're presenting in a way that you really appreciate, someone you know you can learn from, just ask them if they could mentor you. It doesn't have to be a lifetime. No. And I'll tell you, Brad, I have said that to many young people. I can count on the number of fingers on one hand how many people have followed up.
Wow.
Because women think, girls, we get the message, you're bothering somebody.
Yeah, very true. All the conditioning. Yep, absolutely.
I don't want to bother. I know they made the offer, but I don't want to bother them. I'm like, I don't know what else to say.
Well, I think part of that too is women have been conditioned to also not ask for help. That's seen as a sign of weakness, right? You're not supposed to ask for help. You're supposed to be able to do it all yourself. You carry the burden of everything on your shoulders, and you keep your mouth shut and deal with it. No, asking for help is a sign of strength. I don't care what anybody says. No one will ever convince me of different.
Well, I think in this culture in and of itself, we're all taught to be independent and not ask for help, particularly, and for women particularly, women who are mothers, or you don't have to be a mother, but you just you do it. You just do it on your own. You just hang in there, suck it up. And you're right. I did a lot of work, and I continue to do. And one of the programs, although may be a little controversial, was Landmark. But that thing changed my life, Landmark Education, because that was one of the first times that I learned the power of asking for support. The power that you're actually, you're blessing other people. You don't even realize it, that people want to support you. And you're giving people an opportunity to step in. that you don't have to do it all alone. And more recently, I have this saying that I quoted, this quote that I designed says, "I can have it all. I don't have to have it all to have it all."
Yeah.
And that's because of my network and the people in my life. I know the person with the boat. I know the person with the beautiful home on the islands. I know the person in Paris. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
absolutely.
And I do. And so I can have it all. I don't have to have it all. And that's part of the power of asking for
I
support.
love that, Valerie. Thank you for sharing that. That's a powerful quote. When you look at your own career journey, where did you ignore your intuition the loudest, and what did it cost you?
My health. I remember working in the field of substance abuse, as I mentioned earlier. I started as a vocational counselor and then became a director of vocational services. I remember feeling fatigue and ignoring it. And I knew it was more than not getting enough sleep because I just felt drained. I had knots in my stomach. I just ignored it. I then learned that I had Graves' disease, and it was bad. The goiter in my neck was swollen, my face blew up, my hands were dry, I was palpitating heart, hearing a buzzing sound in my head. I thought I was losing my mind. And I could have gone out on disability, and I worked.
Wow.
I worked. And so the cost of me not listening to my body, because my body was saying there's something wrong here. I was overworked. I fed into the workaholism culture that many organizations perpetuate. I got rewarded for my workaholism, which is why I still worked when I was not well. I also bought into this crazy ass thought or a message around loyalty to company first. That's another bullshit message that many people get. Fuck you. Loyal, your company comes first. And then so this is for all of what I risked my health. And thank God, it was interesting because during a period when I was really recovering, I found one of the dream jobs that I've had in my life. And I moved, and it was a totally different environment. And I remember this was back in 1999. So we had the Rolodexes.
I remember those.
And I remember my first day putting my business cards in my Rolodex that I had not had a chance to do in years. And that was like the sign of, oh, a minute. I have a minute to myself to do what I have. I don't want people to risk their health. And there's so many people that are risking their mental health, physical health, spiritual health, because they're not giving it value. They're not giving themselves, they don't let you matter. Putting yourself first. We hear it all the time.
Yes, but that's, again, the conditioning. We're not, that's selfish. You can't do that. And I want to touch on the loyalty thing to the company for a second too, because yes, companies expect that. But you know what's so sad and crazy is on the flip side of that, they wouldn't give a second thought to firing your ass or letting you go or laying you off.
They will tell you we're doing what we do.
Exactly. It's about the bottom line. Sorry, but this is it. You have to find what lights you up. You have to put yourself first. You have to. Above everybody. Because when you do that, that benefits everyone around you as well, because you are replenishing you, which then enables you and gives you more energy to be in and of service to those that you want to be around you. You're helping yourself first and foremost, but you're also helping the people around you by doing that.
But I think, like you said, it's getting past this crazy notion that it's selfish. Put yourself first. That's a crazy ass notion. And that you can still be loyal to your company and put yourself first. You could be loyal. And I ain't saying bad about your company. I bust ass for my company. And they know it. But check this out. I bust my ass for myself.
There you go.
I make $4. I bust my ass for myself. I'm like, Dad, going it. I'm going to make sure I get the joy in retirement. So I'm retiring from Hunter College March 2027. And I'll never forget, we talked about this a little earlier, my brother's godmother, who did do some traveling, she died weeks after she retired. I experienced that as a child, so I knew early, fuck that. I mean, it's not guaranteed. That time frame is not guaranteed. And life is happening
in
now.
The present moment.
Matter of fact, what I'd say a lot too, I didn't coin this phrase, but I say it. Your future is now.
Yep.
So that keeps me very present.
You have to live in the present moment. That's all we have. That is all we have, is right here, right now. That's it. You're not promised tomorrow. The past is gone. You can't do anything about it. The only thing you can do is learn from it. That's it. But you can't go back and change it. So be in the present moment and make the changes that you need to make now. And that's it. That's all there is to it. But you got to step into it and own that shit.
You got to step into
For
it.
sure.
And sometimes, so one of the things that I really share, people, they ask me, Val, how do you stay on this mindset and empowered? And I always say, man, be mindful of the people you surround yourself with. So I seek, like I told you, Brad, when we were right before we recorded, we're aligned. I seek people who's aligned with my energy. Cecilia, who I also know, he laid something on me when I had a session with her, talking about, I was talking about meeting somebody, whatever. She was like, Val, you need your energetic match. I'm like, damn it. I know exactly what you're talking about now. And I look at that with work, and I've actually put that phrase in my work now. When it comes to work, because work is a relationship. Is it an
Thank you,
energetic?
Cecilia. I love Cecilia.
Got it going on. Love her. Oh,
yeah.
I do the work with you, Cecilia. Cecilia told me. And I run with that, and I use it in my work when I coach people and I talk about energy. So that to me is another way. It's a tool that you can use. You're trusting your inner knowing, and not, okay, I'm getting paid. It's a stable job. I got a great benefit package. That's all great, but are you energetically connected?
Yes. All of that, Val. All of it. If you could strip away all the titles, job descriptions, external labels, what question should someone be asking themselves daily to uncover and figure out the work that they're here to do?
I think asking that question is really helpful. Meaning, and I would say, this is how I would say it, and this is how I have said it. First of all, my prayer every morning before I get out of bed is, God help me. God help. God help me. So I'm asking universe, God, source, help me. Guide me. So I think the first thing is really asking the question. And however you choose to ask, what am I really called to do? What am I really called? What is the thing that really lights me up? And really, so asking yourself, do I feel connected to the work that I'm currently doing? What is it that is bothersome? Really questioning as opposed to accepting. You don't have to accept shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Unless you choose to.
Yeah.
Unless you choose to. But you can question. So the idea of self-exploration, but that's also trusting that you actually know. I believe we all know, because when we talk about what is your purpose, and I've heard this, learned this, believe it, every single person on the planet has a purpose, and our purpose is to be of service. I don't know what that means to you, but I believe if you can start by saying, I believe I'm here to be of service. In what way? I just think these inquiries, these self-inquiries, can really result in and then you know what? Seek support. Whether it's a therapist, a coach, a group of people who really you feel connected to or aligned. And if you don't know one, ask somebody. Ask somebody if they know. I talk to people. I talk to strangers. I'm not saying everybody needs to be like me. I definitely know you don't need to be like me, because you're truly unique in who you are. But I'm the kind of person that asks people. I talk to people and I let people know what I'm up to. And I learn about resources, support, opportunities.
Tap into your inner knowing. That's it. You know best. It's all there within you. Yeah, for sure.
Trust it best.
How do you think capitalism has shaped the way people disconnect from their true calling? And what's the antidote to that?
When we think we have to buy to feel good about ourselves, those are, of course. And I was that person. I am also a recovering shopaholic who recently had a relapse.
Just being completely transparent here. Yeah.
Back on track. I did a lot of work to get my credit score up, and I want to keep it there. And that shopping, and again, for women. Oh, so check this out. This is for women, right? I recently met with a friend of mine who wanted me to help her choose outfits. We went shopping in her closet, and we pulled out all kinds of things. It had me go home and go shopping in my closet. We have too many things. And during the pandemic, I looked at all the things I had because you couldn't wear them. So capitalism, unfortunately, has us on this wheel of more,
Yeah.
more, and it's never enough. And if you're using these things, the car, the purchases that you don't really need, impulsive purchasing people, recovering from that too, we lose sight of what's most important. And then this shit that we're covering up, this capitalism feeds this notion that whatever we have is going to elevate us. And then we miss why we're doing all that shopping, because there's a void often inside that we're trying to fill.
That's powerful.
I have personal experience.
Listen to Val. Listen to what she's saying and take it to heart. When someone is at the crossroads of staying in a safe but soul-sucking role versus leaping into the unknown, which we've talked about a little bit, what questions should they be asking themselves?
And we did talk about this a bit. What is the impact of staying in a role that is safe and soul-sucking? What would it look like to be on the other side of that? And then really creating, what would my life, what kind of life do I want? Because again, transcends the career. See, that's the other thing. What kind of life do I want to have? You got family, you got a relationship, you got a partner. You want to find a partner? Because I talk to women who want to be in a relationship, but they're working too hard. Their time is tied up in a job that they don't like even. So what are we losing? What are we giving up to stay in this position? And really being honest with yourself. And then saying to yourself, thinking about, there's a possibility.
Yeah.
Do you believe in possibility? How about that? Do you really believe that there's a possibility that I can find a job where I can be happy? Do you think that's possible? Because not for nothing, if you're looking for evidence, you might not find it, okay? Unfortunately, I've been in too many circles where I'm the only one raising my hand when someone says, do you like their job? I met a kindred spirit the other day who said they love their job. I'm like,
no, you don't.
I don't hear that often. I don't hear that often. And so you can buy into it's not possible.
Yep, for sure you can.
So these are the things to explore. And do you like giving yourself a chance to live fully? Do you believe you deserve a chance to be happy? How about that? Because, Brad, that goes back to honoring your authentic self-worthiness, because too often, all of us have had the message.
Oh, yeah. First pillar, baby.
And back to the pillar.
How do you help people claim authority over their career path instead of waiting for permission from the outside world? Because like you've said before, and I've heard this many times, we're always seeking external validation, waiting for that permission.
Yeah, I shared this. I didn't know I had the power. Again, we talked about this, Brett. It's the work to really know you are the authority. You are the authority of your life. Who else is the fucking authority? You're going to give it your power? But it's building people. It's the building people up piece that really has to start there. Owning your power. I always, when I'm working with people, let's talk about your gifts and talents. How about that? You want to talk about what's happening, what's going wrong? You want to talk about your weaknesses, what's missing? What is the gift? And it takes some people a while to actually not just write it out, but to share it, to even say. I tell people all the time, you know what? It's okay to say I'm
Own
great.
That shit. You are great. You are a gift. Everyone is a gift. This, Val, this ties back again to conditioning. And I think it goes back to the education system and the indoctrination that you think about how the education system is run. And when, let's say, little Johnny or little Jane is really good at math, say, like that's their strong subject, and they're not so strong in science or English. We need to work on those things and improve those, instead of saying, let's nurture your love for math because you're so good. Let's focus on that instead of putting the focus on, no, we need to improve over here. No, you don't. How about we focus on nurturing that thing that child is amazing at and encourage that? We got it backwards. We got it all fucked up and twisted.
And that's the deficit mindset, which is what we then expand for ourselves in terms of what's wrong with us. Something's wrong, right? And so getting underneath and looking at what's right, what's going right, takes a minute, because you can use those strengths to navigate some of those areas that are not strong. You can use those strengths, that resilience. You can use that resilience, that great sense of humor, You can use all of that in addition to the technical skills. You're great with people. You know how to engage. We can use all those wonderful qualities about you to navigate and enhance and expand some of those other
And
areas
when you
that may
do
not be
work
as
on
strong.
strengthening those things that you're good at, guess what? You're making room for other people to do the shit that you're not so good at. So you're helping other people in the process.
Yes, exactly. And I wanted
Yeah.
to share an example that came to me just now. So yeah, 64, proud. And so I didn't grow up with all this technology. So there was a period in time in my life where I was confronted and it would get twisted. Felt like I couldn't do it. But then this whole idea of building myself, knowing who I am as a person and being in my power has me give myself permission to just take a minute, step away, come back and try again. I'm not going to give up to something that seems insurmountable because I know I have the power to, number one, try again,
Yes,
or number two,
exactly.
ask for help.
That's it. That's key. If intuition had a seat at the boardroom table, what decisions do you think would be made differently?
It wouldn't be again an either or. It would be more of the yes and. Yes, we need to look at the bottom line. And what's the impact on the people? How does that getting to that bottom line impact the people? Because you could still get to the bottom line potentially in
Yeah.
a more nurturing and supportive way. Maybe people need more time, a remote day, whatever. Acknowledgement. You can't put a price tag on acknowledgement. We are not acknowledged enough. How about acknowledging your folk on a regular?
No, it
Doesn't
doesn't.
have to always be monetary. But just looking at, again, that bottom line, because that's important, but the impact and how can we get there in a humane, supportive, might I even say,
There we
loving
go.
way?
That's it. I love it. Now, your work is rooted in healing, but in the corporate world, healing, woo, all that stuff, that isn't words that get used often at all. So what does corporate healing actually look like, in your opinion?
Once again, bottom line, staff retention or turnover, people taking time off of work. You got to speak to that. You want loyalty and commitment? What are you doing to be, well, how are you loyal and committed to your staff? So it's looking at the bottom line and looking at the ways that have a healing nature. How can this healing,
No.
because you won't say healing necessarily, but we'll talk about how can we get to this bottom line in a way that has your employees know that they are supported, cared for. I have to use those words.
Valued.
Acknowledge, that means something. Valued, because people will work their ass off for people who care
And
for
that
them.
is such
That's just
a
the way it
simple
is.
concept, Valerie. It really is. But so many corporations can't get their heads around it.
They missed it.
Yes.
They missed the mark. You think, yeah, you don't have to be punitive. You can love folk. I tell people, listen, I work at Hunter College, and I just have to say, my manager, Melissa Barancas, is probably one of the strongest managers, leaders that I've ever worked for, because she sees the gift and talent in each of her staff persons, and she uses them, the gift and talent, to
elevate
amplify them in their work.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's what a good manager does, though, Val.
She doesn't micromanage. But yeah, I get it, but I don't know why this is not.
It should just be commonplace. This should be done in every corporation. I understand they're in business to make money, but if you treat your staff with respect, if you show them that they're valued and appreciated, they are going to work that much harder for you, which will then reduce the revolving door factor. It's easy.
Hello. It's easy.
We do.
And we make it really complicated and difficult. Or we stay inside of
that's the problem. This is how it's always been done, so we have to continue doing it this way. And no, if COVID taught us nothing else, shit can be done differently. It's been proven. It's been proven already. We need to change shit. If you could write a manifesto for the next generation about building a career that is aligned with joy, what would the opening line be? Bring it.
You have the power. You have the power. That's what the opening line would be. And everything else would stem from that. You have the power to create a beautiful life that you love and a career that supports
Love that. That's
you have the
beautiful
power
and
to do that.
powerful, Valerie. If every woman listening to this interview, this conversation, could walk away with just one courageous step toward a more aligned and joyful career, what would you challenge them to do today?
I would challenge them to be honest with themselves. Be honest with yourself and truly tap into what you know is best for you and seek support, because you may not know the answer, but you don't have to know the answer. That's the other thing. You don't have to have it all figured out. Another t-shirt quote, figuring out is overrated. Figuring things out is overrated. You just have to declare that you want a life that works, which includes great work that supports your life. You can create that with making a powerful declaration and trusting your inner knowing, tapping into your inner knowing, and listen to the messages that come
Beautiful
forth.
message, Val. When someone leaves an encounter or an interaction with you, whether it's conversation, workshop, reading, your book, whatever the feeling is, what is that feeling you want them to have lingering in their soul after connecting with you, after having an encounter or an interaction with you?
I know that when people have an interaction with me, they feel better about who they are and they recognize their power through how I show up, exemplify my power. They get their power through the way I show up inside of my power. That I know.
I love that. Infectious. If I asked your younger self what she thought her life would look like now, how close or how far would she be from reality?
Be far from reality. She had not, she thought she had to follow the script. She thought there was a script, because I learned later there are no rules, right? They're all made up. She felt she had to follow a script and she didn't necessarily have to tune into how she felt. She just followed that script and everything's going to be okay. She thought that she took a life for granted. She didn't know, she took a life for granted and she thought being a good girl was the way to go, even though she was an undercover bad girl. But she didn't know who she was trying to find herself in the world. She didn't know that she was right here.
Love it.
I have a lot of compassion.
That's important.
I have a lot of compassion.
Yeah. We don't know what we
didn't
don't know.
She didn't know.
As mentioned off the top, Valerie, you are an author, and I know you mentioned the title of your book. Can you tell us a little bit more about the book, when you wrote it? Tell us the title again. When was it released? What was the inspiration for you to write it? Tell us all the things.
Okay. So the name of the book is Power Networking from the Inside Out, where your career and your well-being meet. And I wrote it in 2018 and self-published, worked with a coach. And I wrote it because I got clear that networking was a natural gift and talent. I had taken it for granted for so many years. But over the years, I got so much value from networking. I wanted to share my approach to networking, which really is about creating community and love, not selling, but sharing. That's how I approach networking. And I wanted to share that with the world to sort of dispel this myth that networking is slimy, salesy, not for me. I can't do it. I don't really talk about the different ways that you can network, whether it's social media, one-on-one, but I really felt that I wanted to offer this particular gift that I have to the world and provide folks with practical tools and strategies they could use to build their career and their life.
The link. I'll make sure we get the link and put it in the show notes when your episode is released so people can check that out. I think everybody could take a page from that and learn how to network, because it is not about selling. It's about sharing. It's about connecting. Yes.
And so it's relational.
Not transactional. That's it.
It's not transactional.
What is one thing that you know now that you wish you had known when you first started your entrepreneurial journey?
I wish I would have known that creating a website and business cards were not the most important thing to do. And that really doing a lot more like testing the market, having ideas, but testing the market before plunging into the work itself and the power. I knew this early, but I didn't really got the power of having a business coach. Because many entrepreneurs, we know our craft, but there's a whole another side of this work, and that's the business. Those are the things. But I think in life, we learn through our experiences. Sometimes you know all the
Yeah.
shit, but you want to do it your way. Okay, I got it. I'm not. No, you got to do it your way. You got to learn. So I don't have any regrets. I really don't, because I learned so much along the way, and then I learned how to mentor and coach others because
Right.
of some of what I experienced. So
Beautiful.
I
Paying
hear
it
all
forward,
that.
sharing your knowledge, not gatekeeping it. What does
Yeah.
freedom mean to you at the very deepest soul level, beyond money, status, and recognition?
Choice that really getting that we have a choice in life. Life is not happening to us, right? It's happening for us to learn and to grow and to expand. And I have a choice. So when people say so and so made me feel this way,
Yeah.
I realize I have a choice. They might say whatever they say. I have a choice as to how I'm going to respond. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm always tuned into that, by the way.
Yeah.
And it might take me a minute, but I think that I have a choice to stay in a relationship that doesn't work. I have regardless of whether I have children, and I don't have children, so I know it's something, but I'll just say I have a choice whether I stay in a relationship or not. I have a choice as to whether I stay in a job or not. I have a choice as to whether I stay in this apartment or whether I leave. I have a choice. I can leave New York. I have a
Always.
choice.
Always. Yeah. Okay.
For me, that's freedom. Knowing you have a
How
choice.
do you
is
define
freedom.
success? What does that word mean to you? Yeah.
Peace of mind.
That's for sure.
Success, peace of mind, because with peace of mind, I can create anything. I can create a life that I love with peace of mind, and that self-alignment is part of having peace of mind. If I'm
Yeah.
self-aligned, I got peace of mind right there.
Yeah.
That gives me space because it's not clogged up with negative thoughts and people that don't fucking do me right and want too much from me, pulling me. I used to be the person who liked people who liked me. I realized that was some bullshit. A lot of us, and women, you know what I'm talking about. Because they like you or because he likes you, somehow you feel compelled to like them and give them more of your time than you need to. Yeah, that's success is being self-aligned, and it ultimately means
What does
peace of
empowerment
mind.
mean to you?
Empowerment means relief and release. Relief. The empowerment means, again, empowerment means freedom too. And if the empowered means for me to be free, I'm not burdened with anything that's holding me down, keeping me back. Empowerment allows me to be open and to listen and to be self-aware.
Yeah.
Self-awareness is, you mentioned this earlier, that is a skill in and of itself. Self-awareness. So empowerment for me is the sense, again, of alignment, of self-awareness, of freedom.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3 word answer type thing, okay? What is your favorite place on earth?
All right.
What is your secret
The
or
beach.
hidden talent?
I don't think I have one because I tell everybody what I do and what I
right.
I don't have many secrets.
If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
To have compassion.
What is
for
your
others.
guilty pleasure?
Judge Judy.
Judge
That's where I got
Judy.
this from.
Wow. What is one word that sums up your mindset? One book
Possibility.
that changed your life? What's
Soul
one
of
word
Women.
that defines the woman that you are becoming? And that concludes our rapid fire
Intuitive.
section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I created a bonus question that I did not send you ahead of time. If you could take one belief, bottle it up, and give it to people, what would it be? One feeling or one belief?
Love one another.
Valerie, if you were to introduce yourself to me without mentioning your occupation, your religion, where you were born, your nationality, your hobbies, all these day-to-day superficial markers that we use in life, how would you introduce yourself to me?
I would say, hey, Brad, my name is Valerie Lyons, and I'm blessed and I'm grateful.
Love it. That's it. If you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
I'm trying to think. I think you covered so much, man. I saw that question too, and I knew you were going to ask me so much. Let me see. How did your family upbringing impact
Go ahead.
who you are on the planet?
Tell me.
I was blessed to live in a household where people were generous and kind with how they acknowledged each other and loved on each other. And the concept of family was definitely instilled in me. The other concept that was instilled in me was no matter what you do in a career or job, do it well, which really resulted in this idea of respect. Having respect for people no matter what. I really grew up in that. And I heard no messages about other groups who were better than or less than. I did get the message as a Black person, you have to work twice as hard. But there was never any demeaning or derogatory language used to describe anybody. And it was a very loving, we laughed a lot.
Beautiful.
So that's what I got.
If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
My father's mother, who I never got to meet. And the reason is that I would want to know more about my father's upbringing and why he was somebody who was emotionally unavailable. And my relationship with my father had a direct impact on my relationship with men, which was not always healthy. And I really would want to talk to his mother to get a clear understanding of what happened, because something happened. And I know that just quickly, my father was one of 11, and the mother and father separated, and the boys lived with the father, and the girls lived with the mother. And I remember my father saying he would go to his mother's house for Sunday dinner, which felt like there was a distance. Beautiful. So I'd want to know more about that.
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
I would be, Val, you have power. You are a leader. Don't be afraid of stepping into your leadership. Don't be afraid of stepping into your power. You actually know what's best for you.
Lastly, Val, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your corner of the world, your tribe, your people, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
I would say you really do know what's best. Your intuition, and build that muscle. Put as much focus on yourself, if not more, than you place on other people. Pay more attention to yourself than you do on others. Don't forget that you matter and that you have a powerful tool called your intuition that can guide you and support you in your life. And don't try to make it make sense. Use your intuition as the leader and allow your mind and your ego to be the
Beautifully said,
servant.
Valerie. Thank you so much for the powerful and inspiring and thought-provoking conversation today. It was absolutely beautiful, as I knew it would be. I just want to say thank you for being a member of the Empowerography community, and I'm blessed and grateful to call you a friend, Valerie. This was such a beautiful conversation. I've enjoyed every minute of the time I've had to spend with you today, so thank you for showing up and shining and sharing your beautiful light that you put out into the world through the work you do.
Yes, and thank you, Brad, for creating this space for women to show up powerfully. And it really is a joy to be with you.
We
and
did.
We worked hard to get here.
Absolutely.
But we knew it was going to be worth it. And I knew it was going to be worth it. And I'm grateful to you for providing me with this space to share who I am with our
pleasure
community.
And my honor, Valerie. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Valerie Lyons. She is a career healer, intuitive career empowerment coach, a speaker, author, mental health counselor, and a rehabilitation counselor. Valerie, thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
You too, Brad. Bye.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast, and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.